It's a little after 7. I know tonight we wanted to talk about a little bit about the trials and how that's been going. And I wanted Brooke to kind of maybe talk to us about, some of the stuff on Facebook, and also Tammy's going to give some training on what to do. We just got off a call. We had 37 people on the call. So that was nice. We've got Wednesday and Thursday that we've got our planned regular meetings, but I'm going to say after Wednesday and Thursday, I'm not sure how many we're going to have trials we're going to have left. We are well over halfway. After tonight, we'll see how many people go on. And so we might end up just with another week of one big push to get all the trials out. I do know that, we always say the fortune's in the follow-up, but as people have been talking, like tonight was great. One of the things that was really nice is we had a couple doctors on the call. One of the doctors is an endocrinologist from Harvard, and there were a couple questions. It was really good. One of the ladies asked a question. It was fun because she's like, yeah, and you need to get the NOx too. She's like, you're going to get the trial, but you should also get the nitric oxide, right? She's telling her you need to get this and this and this, as you should order that just along with it. And this lady's got diabetes, she's got blood clots, she's got all this stuff. And she's like, this is what you need to take. There's no contraindications, right? It was really nice having her and also Irene on the call. We had a couple different nurse practitioner doctors as well. And so it's fun to see. It's fun to see that. It's also great to see Dada gave a great testimonial. Of course, Dr. Liddy gave a testimonial. We had a few people kind of sharing their experience with it and how it's been going. So that's fun to see. But I think the two things that I wanted to double check and is with Tammy is just making sure that when people do put in their information that we get their shipping information, because, well, I can let Tammy go over that, because one of the things I know is people go on, they set up an account, they put all their information in, they place the order, but there's no shipping information. So we don't know where to ship it. So then we're trying to reach out to them and find out where they live, put their address in, that kind of stuff. And so then we hear like, well, they haven't got it yet. I'm like, they haven't got it yet because we don't have their shipping information and they won't return our calls. Right. So maybe just walking through that. And then Brooke's gonna, like I said, go over some marketing stuff with Facebook and how to advertise or get the word out. One of the things too that, and Rosa's really good at this. I mean, she just got on and started calling people, messaging people, texting people, get them on, get people on. I say that because, anybody can take advantage of the trials. It's not just for Dada or Rosa or Kevin or Steve or Zane, or it's not just for us. So we want everybody to take advantage of this because you can pick up customers. You can absolutely get customers. We've seen that. That's why we're doing it. We've seen the ability for people to get a customer, a week later, 2 weeks later, and get them into the system. So Tammy, do you want to go over maybe
Yeah, I've got a couple things actually. So let me share my screen really quick. And the first thing that we're going to talk about tonight is just how to sign somebody up for the new Kavu trim, for the free Kavu trim. So ideally, you will send them your replicated website link. It'll show up looking like this for them. They can click on the Shop Now button. And then if they don't have somebody, if it didn't send, hang on, I have to sign out. If it didn't pull up somebody, like if you didn't send your replicated website, then it'll ask them to find you on the account. So it'll look like this, and they'll type in your name and then find you and link it to you. Then they just click on Join as Retail. And when they're creating the account, this is where we're having probably the most problems. This form right here only asks for their first name, last name, email, a username, and password. And then it creates an account for them. So that's great that we have that info. But when they go to put in their first order, we need to make sure that they're adding their shipping address. We're working on getting this to where it'll ask for their shipping address as well, but that's going to take a little bit of time. So for right now, they just fill this out and then they'll click on the create button. Once they click on the create button, it'll automatically sign them in. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in right now. So it will automatically sign them in. Oh, what did I do wrong? Probably the username wrong. Oh, I don't remember. Okay, well, it will sign them in normally right here after they, oh, did I spell something wrong? I spelled retail. Testing. Oh, testing retail stuff. That's my username. I've done so many testing accounts and I've switched them back and forth and here and there that I have like 20 different usernames for the testing, which is just awful. So, okay, so after they've created their account, they hit create, it'll automatically log them in like this. Now, this one we're working with a desktop view. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit different on a mobile device, but on a desktop, then they'll just click on over here where they would normally sign out, and they can click on go to web office. And it'll automatically take them over to their back office, which is the office.sukavu.com. If they're on a mobile device and they're having a hard time, have them just go on to another tab, click on office.sukavu.com, and then put in their username and password from there. So once they're here, they'll go over to orders, place an order. They'll add the Kavu trim to their cart, click on proceed to checkout. The first thing that I want you to have them do before anything else is right here, add their shipping address. So right now, shipping address, no address on file. They're gonna hit edit and then click on different address. And then here's something else that is kind of funky. They need to click on use new address and update my default address, because what it's gonna do is save it in our system differently if they update it as a default address. If they just use the new address, it doesn't change it on our system in the back end. So just make sure that they update as with the new address, put all their info in and click next. And then the coupon codes that they're gonna use is try space trim, and then they'll click on apply. And then it automatically takes off $50. Make sure that they're seeing that discount, okay? And then the free shipping is just free ship and hit apply. It'll take off another $6.99. So make sure that they see that there is a zero order total on the bottom. I can't tell you how many I have had to credit their credit cards back because they forget the shipping or they don't put in try trim quite right, and they're not really paying attention, and they get charged almost $60 for it, and then they're upset and not very happy. So just make sure that they see that it says order total. So as they're going through this, if you're on the phone with them, you need to be walking them kind of step by step through each process. And if you just do it step by step, it's not too bad. Then if they just need to add a credit card, right here, first name, last name, their card number, their billing address, they'll save the card. Once it's all saved, then the finish button will pop up and they can finish their order out. Does anybody have any questions on doing that?
Yes, Tammy, this is Dada here. I absolutely did exactly like you said. A couple of times the email, their address didn't show up. But now what I see you do is do the address before filling out the information. Does that do the trick then?
It'll show up on my side a little bit differently. I still have to do a few things on my end to make it show up all right, but I'm gonna show you another thing that they can do. We tried to make this as few steps as possible, like as easy and as few steps as possible. If they still aren't seeing their address, like when they go to settings and their account, if they're still not seeing their address in here, if they just click on settings, account, and then this little edit
upgrade, it does, at times it does, at times it doesn't. My first customer, I actually went back and did the setting and updated that. It went through. The following two did not go through. It couldn't allow them go through.
Okay, so if there's any issues, take screenshots. That's always my biggest thing because I can never seem to replicate it on my side, which is always so hard. So then I don't have much when I go to the developers to tell them, hey, we've got this bug or this issue, right? So take screenshots for sure, for sure. And then sometimes I've noticed that when I go to save something, like for instance, if I'm changing a username and I put in the new username and I check on, you know, that I can change it and that it's going to change my username, it'll also change your website. But sometimes when I hit save, it doesn't, it gives like an error and says that it didn't save it. But if I refresh the page, then it's changed and it's correct and saved.
Okay.
So yeah, click refresh every once in a while just to double check and make sure that it saved correctly. If you're still seeing issues, always screenshots are the best to be able to get for me.
Amy, can you go? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Could you go back to the view that showed where you had to click the address and new address? It was the second one down. No, it was, maybe it was
when you're
after
placing
that.
an order or when you're in their account already?
When you're, maybe it's when you place an order. So it's after you do the shipping, edit the shipping, and then you had to click the second one down.
Address. Yeah, so this one right here.
If you click that for a second and let me take a screenshot.
You bet.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Good. You're welcome.
I think so.
Sometimes it makes them a little nervous because it says that it's going to change their default shipping address. But tell them not to worry because they don't have a default shipping right now. There is none. We want to create one. So that's why we want to make sure that we click that. Okay, so then it is a little bit different with a mobile device. So let's see, let me minimize so then you guys see this. So if somebody on their mobile device, if they are in their back office, so this is like in office.suprobably.com, and I've logged in as just the retail, then they're gonna click on the little hamburger menu right up here, okay? And it will pop this open. They'll go to settings. This is to change their address. Okay, this is to make address changes. So they'll click on settings and then account. And then they'll click on that edit button, the little pencil. And it'll let them change all sorts of things. They can even add a photo if they want. There's some more stuff, and here's where their address is. They just have to keep scrolling down, okay? So they just keep scrolling and scrolling to the next section. And then if they wanted to change their username or their password, then this is where they would do it in the login info. It's just in the same account setting area, just login info, and they would click on the little pencil, and that's where they can change things there. And then they just have to do a check mark on that they understand that changing that does something. Okay, does that make sense? Are you guys okay with that mobile one?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tammy, something happened and I didn't get to see the very beginning of that. Can you just give me the first slides? Okay, that one, I got that one.
Got that one? Okay, and then it'll pop this open. So this is where we're gonna change their address. So this isn't placing an order, this is just changing their address or adding their address if they need to. And then account, and then they'll just click on the pencil and it'll pop open. And they just need to make sure that they keep scrolling down because this first little bit scrolls down to this second little bit where they can do their address. Okay. And then they'll just click, they'll scroll back up and click on the save right there. Okay. Okay, so then as far as mobile devices, and finding somebody's order, because one of the things that you're going to want to make sure that you do after they've created their account and they place their order, one of the things that you're going to want is finding their order and their tracking information for them in case they need it, right? So this is like you logging in as a representative on your mobile device, because it's just a little bit different than a desktop. I'll show the desktop version too, but it's a little bit different. So on a mobile device, you'll click on that hamburger menu, and then you're going to click on business, which is going to pop open the team dashboard. And then you'll have to click on this little part down here. This is where it gets kind of confusing because it doesn't show up very well. But you have to click on this little section down here where it says view team members, and there's this tiny little arrow. So you're going to click on that, and it will pop open your distributors. You'll click on that little arrow button in order to get to your customers. So then you click on your customers. Okay. Then your customers are going to pop open. You'll click on one of their names, and then their name will pop open like this. And then you need to click on their name up here, this little arrow up here. So mobile device is just a little bit different than a desktop, but you'll click on this little arrow up here, and it'll pop open their stuff. And then you can scroll down, and it'll show their orders, and you can click on their order number. And then to get back, if you want to switch to somebody else, you'll click on this view team members again, click on that little arrow. It'll pop him back, and you'll just click on your name, and then it'll go back to all of the names together. Okay. So it's just a little bit different, takes just a little bit more on a mobile than it does on a desktop. So if we're doing this same thing on a desktop, let me log in and let you see it. So that same thing, you would go to business, team dashboard, click on your customers, click on the person you want. It pulls up their stuff. If they have any orders, you can click on their orders. Let's see, I've got one right here. If I click on this order number, and then it'll show me exactly what it is, how they paid, if they got a discount. You can do this with all your orders as well, by the way. Like if you're worried about, did I get the free shipping? Did I get that other discount or whatever? It'll show up on all of these. And then if you click on print invoice, it'll open up a new tab. And here's where the tracking number is. And then you can just copy and paste and put that into USPS.com, and you'll be able to get their tracking info. Okay. Any questions on that? Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, not particularly on this. Now that you're on the back office, I have a question.
Sure.
Before I could see how much more I need to fulfill to move to the next rank, that item has disappeared.
Yes, so that widget wasn't pulling all the information correctly. So we're having the developers work on that right now.
Okay.
Okay, so, okay. The next thing is we changed the business snapshot widget for you. Hopefully it explains things a little bit better now than what it did previously. So we changed how this looks. So you're still gonna have your customer sales volume, which is gonna be on this side. And if you click on it, it will explain what the item is, what customer sales volume is. So it's your retail and your preferred sales volume for your customers, okay, for that current month. And then we have the previous month if you want the previous, but so this is where you're going to figure out how much sales volume you have for just your customers. And this one is your own personal sales volume for the month, okay? And it will go above 150. It'll show you more than 150, but just remember that in order to qualify, that it's capped at 150, okay? But it'll show you more than that if you have more than that. And then your group volume is going to be your downline, the representative, and then all of their customer sales. Okay, that'll all equal together for your group volume. So hopefully that is a little bit better of an explanation on the business snapshot. So then you can kind of keep that going. The other thing that I wanted to, yeah.
I have a question on that. Can you do more clarification? What do you mean by, I can see customer sales volume? Who are your customers? Like, who are you referring to? Your direct customers. So any retail or preferred customers that are yours. Who use my link? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yep. So any of your customers that buy underneath your link.
Okay.
Yep. Does that
And
make sense?
then- Yes.
Okay.
And then the second group, the 38, is
That's your own personal sales.
using my link.
So that's if
No.
you bought something, if
Yeah,
you
that's-
actually physically bought something.
Yes.
Oh,
If you physically buy something
Okay.
in your back office, then
Okay.
that will show up there.
Okay.
And then the group volume is your representatives and all of their customers.
And all of the customers, right?
All of theirs, not your customers.
Not my customers.
Any of your representative, like if you
Downline.
have a representative underneath you
Uh-huh.
and they have a retail customer,
Okay,
so
that will show
that-
everywhere.
yep, that'll be included in that number.
Okay. Can this be fixed? Because it keeps moving. Like each time I go to my back office, something has moved. It keeps shifting. Is there a possibility to just have it stay where they are so you know exactly where to go find things? I'm just
Sure. So this will always be on the home page. It's always going to be on that front home page. If you're on, if we add widgets and things back and forth, it will kind of move
Shift.
around. These
Okay,
things will
that's
kind of
what it is.
shift.
okay.
but-
That's when you're shifting.
Yeah, but it'll always be on the home page.
Yeah, I know that they just keep
uh,
moving around on the home page. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Tammy, the issue we have here is as the team grows, you will click to see your team dashboard. And when you click a name, let's say I click Dada, I don't know if Dada is supposed to move to the next level because it just shows
Yeah.
her daily sales.
Right,
It doesn't
so-
show, okay, Dada is a rep who has to move to the next level by completing $500 worth of sale, $1,000 worth of sales, so I can work with her to cross to the next level.
Yeah,
so
for
it
sure.
prevents
So
promotion.
That's actually something that we're working on right now as per your suggestion, actually, Rosie. You were the one that suggested that we do this. So we are working with the developers right now to create something similar to this business snapshot, but it would be where you would be able to see how close a representative underneath you, how close they are to their next level. So yeah, that is something that's in the works. Anything else?
How long will it take before we hit that, before that is fixed? Because
I don't know.
Tammy, this is the deal. If we are building team, people want to move to the next level. And if
Absolutely.
they don't see
Yeah,
how
for
they are
sure.
moving, this month is going to end 10 days from how many days from today? And if we go to the next month, we cannot move our team members, leaders from
Right.
one point to the other.
So
It serves no purpose.
So right now, the developers are working on that. I don't have a timeline from them as far as when it will be done. We have an update scheduled Thursday to be able to work with them. So I should be able to next Monday have an update as far as when that'll be ready to go. But I don't have a timeline right now.
If they can finish end of this month, then we can start moving levels next month. And that's when
Yes.
the momentum builds because the duplication process kicks in place.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So we are working on it. It is something we're working on getting going. Okay, so then one other thing that I wanted to show really quick, when you have, that some of you guys might not know, when you have a new person signing up to become a rep, we have this new option, which is kind of cool. Oh, I have to sign out. The computer thinks that it knows me, but it doesn't. So if you have a new person signing in as to join as a representative, and you have them with the $129 yearly fee, then they actually have an option. There's two different options here for enrollment kits. One of them a cinnamon flavor, one of them is a peppermint flavor. But if you click on it, it's going to show you exactly what you're going to get. It's $350 price, and it includes their yearly membership fee for free. So if they add one of these to their cart, they're going to get a full-size protein, full-size greens, a CBG 600, a full-size Knox, a CBD 600, 2 bottles of trim, and an energy chew. So if they add that to their cart, then you will see that there will be this discount total over here. So they're going to get the free shipping, which is $6.99, and then they'll get $129 off of their order. So they'll only pay the $350 plus tax. So that is something new that we've added. So it kind of gives them an opportunity if they're wanting to to kind of jump in with both feet and get more product at the very beginning, then that's kind of an option for them, but it does let them have that discount on there. So I didn't know if everybody knew that that was something that we were doing, but that these enrollment kits, the only place you can get them is here when they're starting as a new member. So any questions on that?
Not exactly on that, but could you skip that part where they are not selecting the order because maybe 350 is a little bit steep for them at the time. So, okay, walk me from when they click the yearly. So click on yearly and then move on. You fill out the information. Fill it out. I mean, it keeps saying information, right? Yeah, because I brought it up. Maybe you help me with the last person. Like you fill it up and it keeps telling you, oh, something is missing. Go back and check. So, what's wrong with that?
Okay, so that's when there's an upgrade. This is a brand new representative. So when a brand new representative does it, it works really great. The problem that we were having, let me show you. I think that I took it off, but let me just double check. So one of the issues that we were having was with when people were already a retail customer. Oh yeah, it is off. So then they would click on up here, it would say upgrade to representative, and they'd click on that and then try to upgrade. And we were having issues with that. And so we ended up just taking it off. So for right now, if you have somebody that wants to upgrade from retail to a representative, just send me a quick email and I can do it on my end super lightning fast and upgrade them to a rep. In fact, I did that with Brooke today. That was one of the things, and it only took a few seconds, right, Brooke? It was super fast.
Yeah, it was really fast.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long.
Sometime down the line, that will be fixed, right?
Yes, yeah, for sure. I've got the developers working on that too, but that's not their first priority. The first priority for them right now is that rank advancement widget. So they'll get to the upgrading to a representative after that. But yes, that is something that we'll bring it back. I'm not sure where the error is, but they'll look into that. Okay, and that is all I have on training.
Before you leave, quick question. What about somebody who wants to buy the product? They don't want to sign up for the account. They just want to shop as retail, just buy, go. Do they get that process seamless as much as possible?
Yeah, so it's the same thing. They'll do the same thing as when we're signing them up. So join as retail, they'll click on join as retail and create an account. And then once they've created the account, it automatically signs them in, and then they'll click on go to web office and they can place an order in their back office. So it's the exact same process.
No, somebody who doesn't want a back office, like they just want to go to my website, give them my information. They just want to sign in and buy and just go. They don't want the 5%.
Yeah, so the reason why we train you guys to show them that they have a back office is because that's the only place that they can see their instant cash. So
that's what I'm saying, that this is somebody who...
Timmy, remember how we added, wait, hold on. We added that little button that they can
checkout?
check out, that they don't need to set up an account.
Yep, so if they want to just order something and do a guest checkout, for sure, they can. So if you add something to your cart, go to cart, check me out as a guest. And then they just fill out all the same stuff. It'll be guest, but they still have to fill out all their information.
Right.
But yep, that's right. That's theirs. They just click on when they click on their cart and then check me out as a guest.
But make sure the guest thing is not hiding, because you actually have to go like scroll to your right before you get the guest. Just so you know. So I did that because I'm used to the website, but somebody who has first interaction, I tell you, it's frustrating.
Right. So if they go to their cart, there's a link that says check me out as a guest. Good. And it'll automatically pop them over to the guest one.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Zane.
Nope, that was it. That was what I got. All right, Brookie.
All right. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm new to the team. My name's Brooke Elder, and I'll give you a little bit of background on me, and then we'll dive into some training. So, I have been in the network marketing space. I joined my first company in 2008. So it's been a very long time, and it makes me feel very old. But I built my entire business all online, built to the top of the company. And then for the last 5 years, I've been coaching network marketers how to grow their business online as well. So primarily, I've been using Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn to be building businesses. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about how do we get people interested in this trial for trim on social media, because we don't want to be spammy. I'm very much against the like, hey, buy my stuff kind of thing. The kind of marketing that I teach, just to give you like a high level philosophy, is that I don't believe in arrows in marketing. I believe in arrows out marketing. So arrows in, you've probably have seen people do posts where it's like, I'm only $500 away from earning this trip. Who will buy from me? Right? All of that is, you need to do something for me, so come buy my stuff. That's arrows in marketing. What's in it for me? And that's not the way to build a business. You want to build a business arrows out, which is, how can I serve you? I have amazing product. We all know that Zane makes fabulous products for us. So how do we get that out there to really help and serve people? And the number one way to do that is through sharing stories. And Zane shares lots of stories about the products, about how it's working. And if you're not using the product, you want to make sure that you are using it so you have your own stories to tell. And I have been giving away tons of product to my friends and my family, so that way they can try it out, but then I get stories about how it works. So then I can talk about that. So for instance, my son has been taking trim for the last week, and he's lost 5 pounds. My mom's been taking it for a week and a half, and she's lost 8 pounds now. So like, I've been taking it for about 3 weeks now, and I've lost 8 pounds. So just saying that, people are going to be like, okay, yeah, whatever. So you need to turn it into a story. So if I were to go on my personal Facebook profile, and my goal is I want people to message me because they want to get in on this trial and they want to join the Zoom. So what I would do is I would say, you know, I remember a year ago being 20 pounds overweight, and I tried everything. I tried all of the gimmicky products. I tried doing intermittent fasting. I tried keto, and that things worked for a little bit, but it was really hard to stay consistent. So now what I'm doing is, in my story, I'm connecting with who it is that we're looking for. I'm connecting with them because I'm telling the story of where they're sitting right now. Because we want people that have tried things. They want to lose weight. They've done intermittent fasting. They've done like all of these other ways to lose weight, and it just seems like nothing works. So we want to connect to them on that level, because that's going to make them continue to read and makes them stop the scroll and actually pay attention to you. Then I'm going to say, you know, I found this product, and then what did you think about it before you've tried it? And if you haven't had a personal experience about this, then you can share someone else's story. You can share my story. I don't care. But I was skeptical about it because Zane was like, you just take it and you lose weight. And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that before, right? I've seen all of those like infomercials, and I've tried those things and they don't work, right? So I was like, all right, well, I'll try it, because I was at the point where I'm like, I got to find something that works. There's got to be something, so I'll try it. So when you confirm their suspicions that it's not, you thought that it's not going to be like this magic pill, then they're going to be even more relatable to you, because they're going to be like, yeah, you know, I wonder if it would work too. So you're really painting this picture and showing them how you are in their shoes. And then you talk about the result. What is the result that you got? So I would say, in 3 weeks, I lost 8 pounds, and I'm amazed about how much better I feel, how much more focused I am. I can get so much more done. This has been really an amazing, life-changing thing. And it's only been 3 weeks, and I can't wait to see where I'm at 3 months from now. Anyone else wants more information, leave emoji in the comments. So you make it super easy for them to raise their hand and say, yes, I want more information. And then when they do that, then you can start sending them messages and say, hey, I saw that you commented on my post. I would love to hear a little bit more about what your goals are. Are you trying to lose 5 pounds? Are you trying to lose 100 pounds? Like, where are you at? So that way you're being invested in them, because you are an endo coach. It's your job to coach them through this and help them through this journey. So then when you have that conversation with them, you see where they're at, what their goals are, and maybe ask them what have they tried before, and say, I can't wait for you to try this product. And you actually get to try it for free. There's a call on Wednesday night or Thursday night this week. Which one works better for you? And anytime that's why it's great that there's multiple times and multiple days. So if they say, you know what, Thursday's better, then say, great, we have a call at 6 and 7. Which one do you want me to get you set up for? So that way you're getting a commitment of what time they're going to be there. Then what I do is I make a list of who's going to be at what call. And then 15 minutes before, I'll either send them a message or a text and be like, hey, can't wait to see you on the call. I want to follow up with you after to see if you have any questions. So that's a really easy way to post a story on social media. And the goal is to get people in your inbox, because the mistake that people have, especially when it comes to social media, is they think that the sale happens through a post. And it really doesn't. Posting is great because what it does is it creates awareness, it creates curiosity, but you actually are going to close them through Messenger, because it's the connections that you make in Messenger is going to be the thing that is going to be lasting. And even if you talk to them and then they're like, yeah, I'm not really that interested, great, that's no problem. You are there. It's like, I always tell people, it's like you're offering people a stick of gum. If you offer someone a stick of gum and they say, no, thank you, it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm a horrible person, I did this wrong, right? They just don't want gum. And that's okay, because I bet you there's someone else that's got bad breath and cannot wait for your gum. So you just got to find that person. So what questions do you guys have about that, or social media or anything?
Brooke, do you think you could write those kind of steps down so that, because,
Yes.
it would be handy if you could write them down and maybe share them in the Sukavu rep page. That would be great. Thanks.
I can do that. So the very simple structure that you follow is problem, agitate, solve. You talk about a problem, you agitate that problem by agitating it, meaning you just give it like more information. You really paint that picture, and then you offer the solution. So you can do this for anything, problem, agitate, solve on anything. Because what happens is, like, we have a problem. So let's say I know that I'm really overweight. Like, you can't hide that, like, it, but it's something that if you don't want to actually look at it and do something about it, people put it in the back of their heads. But when you bring it forward and say, I have a problem, and then you agitate it, what it does is when people connect to that story that you're telling, it's like they're holding it here in their hands and they're like, oh crap, I really have a problem. And then they have a choice. They can either push it back and say, I'm not going to deal with this, or they can give the problem to you and you can offer them the solution. So that's what this problem, agitate, solve method really does. Does that help kind of put more of a structure to it?
Yeah. There was something else you said, and I can't remember what it was. What the heck was it? And I want you to make sure you put it in your note, because it was something, oh, I know, skeptical.
Mhm.
where, if you can just write how you deal with
Yeah, I have a training on
Okay.
storytelling, like how to tell your story. So I'll
Okay.
drop that in there. And that's one
Good.
of the things. I think there's like 7 steps of when like you're telling your personal story, how to put that together, but you could use that framework for really any kind of storytelling, because that's
Okay.
what's going to make people connect with you.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I had a question about engagement,
Mhm.
because so many times when if I post anything that's related to anything that I don't know, I don't get a lot of engagement on it. I get engagement on the stupidest things, but then when it's something that I'm like more care about, I don't get engagement on it. So that's, any suggestions on?
So make sure if you are looking to get engagement that you tell people what to do. Because if you're not telling them what to do, they're just going to read it and keep scrolling. But if you tell them to leave an emoji, leave a comment like this, post a picture in the comments, only tell them to do one thing though. Don't say leave a comment or do this. Don't give them a choice, because then they have to think. We want them to not think. We want them, like, they're scrolling through social media. They are not looking to be sold to. They're looking to see what their grandma is doing and their best friend from high school, all of that. That's what they're doing, but if you can pique their interest by first asking an engaging question or a thought-provoking question, that's going to get them to stop. And then at the end, you give them one thing to do. So you can say, if you relate to this, give me a thumbs up. That's super easy. And then that's going to increase your engagement.
Okay.
And if you post something you don't get engagement and you want to know how to make it better, just send it to me and I'll give you some tweaks.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And if
Okay, aren't we so glad we have Brooke? She's amazing. So excited.
if you guys want to, here's a little like hack to play against the algorithm, and this works for really any social media, is when you do a post, if it gets a lot of engagement, your next post gets more organic traction. So if you, like for you, Krista, if you have posts that you always get engagement on, do that kind of post first, and then post about trim or whatever you're going to talk about. When you do that, then more people are going to see that. So that's a way to kind of play to the algorithm. So I'll ask a question like, I'm really needing a vacation. Where's your favorite vacation spot? So then you get lots of people commenting, and then the next post, I'll post something that I actually really want people to see. So that's a way to kind of play around with that.
Trickery.
Yeah.
So now that we're talking specifically to trim, how would you post trim?
So I would just talk about any story that anyone has had on the product. And I wouldn't say, look at trim, it's so awesome, get a free 2-week trial, like none of that. Because that is salesy and people aren't going to relate to that. They relate to stories. So it really is telling stories. So I would write down, I would think about all the customers that you have had and what have they said to you about how great the product is, or what results have they gotten? How do they feel? And just make a list of all those people that you can tell their story. You don't have to use their name or anything. You just say, I have a friend, I have this colleague I've been working with, and this is where they were at. And this is what has happened after using this product. If you want to know more about it, I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So the days of like, look at this pretty picture that the company has given us, and I'm just going to post it on social media and people are just going to buy it, those are gone. It did work. It was really awesome when it worked, but it doesn't work anymore. So now we just get to learn how to be really good storytellers. So that's why that follow-up is really important when you get people that are on this trial, because you need stories, because those stories are really going to be the fuel that is going to excel your business. And then you never feel like you're spamming, because all you're doing is you're just sharing, and you are just helping people be able to see what's possible, because that's what stories really do. Because there's so many people out there that they have their blinders on and they don't see what could really happen to them. They think, oh, that happens for other people, but it doesn't happen to me. So how amazing is it that you get the opportunity to go and connect with that person, and you can show them that you may be unhappy with where your life is right now, but it doesn't have to be that way. It can be different, and you get to give them that hope. And then that's the thing that is really going to make a difference in that person's life. And then that ripple effect of what happens when that person gets better, and they have such a better outlook on life, and they feel happier, and they are more confident. And what does that then do for their family and their kids and their friends? Like, you get to be the catalyst of that. And that is the power of having amazing products. So, any other questions? I could just go on and on because I love this stuff, but no other questions?
Man, you guys are good.
Good.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for jumping on. A lot of fun and exciting things obviously happening and taking place, and more goodness to come. Thanks for the feedback about the website. We're working with developers, and we'll continue to do that to make it as good as possible. The trials are going cool, and we're having a lot of people that are having success. I think, like Brooke said, tell them the story, right? Just get out and tell your story. So we do have, I got to look at the exact numbers. I know we're over halfway done though on the trials of what we promised we do. So if you want to get people on, please jump on. I think after Wednesday and Thursday, depending on how these next calls go, we might only have another week before we're out. So yeah, that's good. And yeah, like those are good options and good things going on. So I think, again, my favorite thing is just hearing the great stories, hearing like what Brooke said, her boys lost 5 pounds, her mom's lost some pounds, like, and people feel good. I think that's probably my favorite part. That's why I always love hearing from Dada, because she's always like, I just feel great. I've got extra energy, right? It's not just about, hey, I lost weight, which is a great bonus, but let's see. That's probably all I've got. Kevin, Steve, Tammy, did we miss anything?
I don't think so. I thought tonight was a great training. I think there's a couple of things that I guess I just want to highlight for everyone. Number one is that Brooke is here to build her Sukabo business. This isn't about theory about what she did across the street in some other company, right? She's here to build this business. So you're getting to, when she's sharing her stories, it's selling the same exact samples and trial programs and protein shakes that you are, in those same testimonials. And the other thing I want to point out is I believe that everything she said really wasn't unique to being online, that these are real fundamental core things that happen online and offline. Testimonials in our business has been the bedrock of network marketing for the past 40 years in that sense, because everyone who joins the company on day one who gets a result is an expert on their own testimonial. Testimonials allow people for you to think that you understand them and that they understand you. And it's that bonding that under this one big category tonight, right? The one thing, the secret we all want to know is, how do we make people say yes, right? And the reason people say yes is usually not about information, right? It's about emotion, creating an emotional connection with someone. Like when Brooke was saying how it's always a story. One of the things everyone loves about Zane is that he can turn CBD, CBG, and CBN into a story, right? Now that can't be our testimonial, right? We can't tell his testimonial, but because he is who he is, he found a warm way to tell science, right, into a story. So number one is online, offline. Testimonials are always the way that you connect with people. Number two, there's some things, the difference between sales and naturally organic things that are happening in the moment. So what's the second reason people say yes or no? Urgency, deadlines. There's a call Tuesday night. If you're not on the call, you can't be in the program. It's a yes or no to the phone call, not a yes or no necessarily to the program or the product, right? So number one is bonding with people, connecting with people, letting them know, understand. Number two is urgency. Three is value versus time. You give people value, you take people's time. Which do you think they're more receptive to? So you're giving them something in life that's valuable that they couldn't get anyplace else. They didn't hear about it anyplace else until that you spoke to them. So remember, you're not giving something away for free to diminish the value. You're giving something free because it has value. That's the value in itself right there. Number four is scarcity. There's a limited number of people in the program. So these are things you don't have to pick as sales pitches. Just do what's organically natural of what's happening. There's only a couple of hundred people that are going to be in this trial. There's only a period of time this trial is going to take place. Let me tell you about my story about how this trial worked for me. And there's an urgency of an event coming. And then the last part is after they experience the phone call with you or online or offline, they feel they're part of a community, right? The best companies, the culture that comes from being in a group situation as opposed to a one-on-one creates community. So again, it's testimonial, urgency, value, scarcity, community. These are all the reasons that people say yes. And with Brooke having an unusual expertise, like playing a fine instrument, right? Between Facebook Messenger or Instagram or TikTok, whatever it is, those are fine instruments that you have to learn how to play. But in reality, you can go back to the fundamentals and you can play in any band. You can play almost any instrument if you understand those 5 principles. So you're going to have the best of both worlds. You've got the 10,000 point of view, and then you've got the details. Most people at a company at this place in life don't get both in that perspective. So it's up to you. Take advantage of the timeline, the calls, the urgency, the value, and let's blow through these trials to get to the next level. So great call tonight, everybody. Appreciate all of you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll see you Wednesday, if not before.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. See you,
Night,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.